YouTube, what is good? Welcome to today's vlog. We have a lot of photography packed into today's episode. Excited to share it all with you. Before we can get going, I gotta thank our sponsor, Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com/EvanRamft to start your free trial today and use code EvanRamft to get 10% off your first purchase. Now, as a freelance photographer, you already have enough things you have to keep track of, enough problems you have to solve. You gotta manage clients, you have to manage your social media. If you're like me, you have to manage this YouTube channel. It can be a lot. The last thing you wanna deal with is a website that is not easy to use. And that was what I was dealing with for years before I switched over to Squarespace. Squarespace is where I built my website, evanramft.com, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I was using Squarespace long before they were a sponsor on this channel, and what drew me to Squarespace initially was how easy it is to build the site. If you know how to drag and drop files, you can essentially build your own site. So for me, it was pretty much a no-brainer. You can start with a simple site, build it out, get your site launched, get going from there, and then slowly add and customize to it to build something fantastic and unique. Squarespace makes it so simple with all the different templates they provide for you. They also have award-winning customer service that you can call anytime with questions. I built an entire page on my Squarespace site from scratch. I have no web design experience or anything like that. If I can figure it out, you definitely can too. If you want to start a business, you want to share whatever you're doing with the world, a website is one of the easiest ways to do it, and Squarespace makes it simple for you. So head over to squarespace.com/EvanRamft to start that free trial today and use code EvanRamft to get 10% off your first purchase. Now, let's jump back a few hours to when this vlog got started. YouTube, what is good? Good morning. Welcome to the vlog. Yo, can we give a quick shout out to global warming today? I know it's bad for the environment. The whole world's gonna end, but I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt to go on my run, and it is the middle of February. Y'all, so in other news, Dax got his first haircut. Apparently this is really common with golden doodles. They get really bad haircuts, but he looks like Poodle now. Dude, what up? All the fluff is gone. We still love you though, buddy. So your boy just entered the draw on the Nike sneakers app for the Air Max 90 Off-Whites. I need these in my life. I'm feeling it. Today is the day I'm gonna get lucky. If for whatever reason I don't, I'm probably gonna scoop the infrared Jordan 6s over the weekend because I've never had a pair of those and they are fire. For right now though, I have a 6-mile run to do today. Half marathon training has been going fantastic. My ankle's feeling good. My training has been feeling good. I've been feeling good in the weight room. Everything is on point. Now, unfortunately, there's a few slight issues with the half marathon date. Some stuff has happened in my personal life that just warped the circumstances of the whole thing. Don't worry, I'm still doing a half marathon this weekend. It's just gonna be a little different. But last night I got out to shoot with my Fujifilm X-H1 and my 16mm f1.4 lens. A super simple setup, that's all I had with me. I recorded some GoPro footage, so while I'm out crushing this run right now, I'm gonna play that GoPro footage, do a commentary for you, explain a few things. It wasn't my favorite night of photography ever. It was actually a pretty challenging night, but I did leave with a few things that I was pretty happy with that I posted to my Instagram at EvanRamft. So I'm gonna go run GoPro mode for y'all. L's. Coming in hot with that voiceover. Yo, y'all do me a solid right now. Hit that thumbs up button for this video. It greatly helps out the channel. And if you aren't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So where we are at is over by Georgia Tech University. Now, previously, I never looked at this as a place I wanted to photograph. It was just like a college campus. But in recent years, they've really developed all this. They're adding a bunch of new architecture, a lot of new buildings, and I wanted to check it out because it seems like it'd be really interesting to photograph now. So I brought out the Fujifilm X-H1 and my 16mm f1.4, which is a 24mm equivalent. Haven't shot at 24mm like in the streets in a long time. Probably for good reason. I'll explain that in a second, but right here, just make a quick open road shot. You gotta love that. And clearly mistimed how long the road would be open because I almost got hit by a car. So we get right here to a more construction zone. This is gonna look crazy when it's all done. I feel like in 5 years, this whole area is gonna look like some futuristic playground, but this is pretty cool. I noticed this guy walk into this tunnel, I don't know, scaffolding thing right here. So wait a second, and then I make this photo real quick of them. Now, at first when I made this photo, I wasn't exactly feeling it. I thought it was too simple. And then when I got home and went through it, I realized, yo, simple is okay. Everything doesn't have to be this crazy complex thing. My settings were ISO 800 f2.2. I didn't have time, or I just missed it. I didn't change my aperture. Wish I would have to get my corners a little bit sharper. 2.2 is a little bit of a low aperture for a photograph like this. Would have preferred f8, but it is what it is. The photo still came out even though my settings weren't exactly where I would want them to be. Gotta let this scooter go by. Am I the only one who cannot stand these things? I don't understand. Did like every company on the planet decide all at once, like, yo, it's the year, we're all making scooters right now? Clearly, I'm obsessed with this building. I don't know what I'm doing, turning my camera around. I'm just looking for any way I can to make a photo right there. So right here, I noticed somebody walking through our frame. We have this fence, and then we have these interesting lines on that building. Didn't turn out because I'm shooting at 24mm. 24 is a challenging focal length to use out in the street. I've gotten so used to 35mm, and I didn't think it would be a big deal, but it's definitely a big change going from 35 to 24. You shoot completely different. So right here, notice this straight scene where we have the two buildings creating like a valley, and then we have that line in the middle with someone crossing the street. Didn't come out exactly how I would have hoped in my head. It seemed more interesting as I was making the shot, but not bad. This right here, once again, another interesting like city valley, as I would call it. There's so much going on over here. It's really cool. This right here is a composition that we are for sure coming back to at night. It's a little bit too bright right now, but I'm making a few test photos. I really liked how the light from that parking deck was coming out, and then you had the two arrows pointing. That is going to be a dope place to go back to in the future. So right here is this stairwell I noticed on the highway a while back, and unfortunately it's blocked off. It's like the biggest set of stairs I've ever seen. I was hoping to maybe make a photo of someone walking up and down it. It's not working. So over here, this is like a brand new city block. It's interesting. This didn't exist a few years ago. So this is my first time walking over here. It's by the new NCR headquarters. A lot of cool architecture. I feel like there's something I could do with the reflections on this building as well as the design of this building right here. Just not exactly sure what. At this point, I'm just kind of shooting off instinct. Those last few photos is just me saying, I think this looks cool. Let's see what happens. Same thing with right here. I like this green wall thing. So I just make a few images, and who knows, maybe I'll look back at these photos later and some ideas will start popping. Here is another example of me wishing I brought a longer lens with me. Only having the 16 was not a good thing right here. I love the way the sun is hitting this building. It's blue and pink, looked super interesting. Have never seen that before, and if I had my 24 to 70, could have made a pretty interesting minimal architecture shot, but I didn't, so it didn't happen. Right there, this is like this weird hole in this parking deck. I thought it was cool. I was hoping someone would walk into this scene. Never really happened. Decide to walk around a little bit more. Didn't see anything too interesting. So make my way to a different part of town once it gets dark. So only bringing a 24mm lens out with me to do street photography may have been a bad decision on my part. I was really struggling. I mentioned how I've been using 35mm a lot, and the 24 just didn't seem tight enough for any of the photos I wanted to make, and it didn't seem wide enough for other photos I wanted to make. I felt like I was stuck in this really weird limbo in the middle. Decided to make a few long exposures here. I think this intersection looks pretty interesting. Set up my camera for a long exposure with the GorillaPod. One thing this Fuji 16mm does great is long exposures. The way it handles light is fantastic. We get this massive truck drive through our frame, and we get this great photo right here. My settings on this one were ISO 200, 16mm f14 speed, 6.5 seconds. Really happy with this one. I almost wish this truck didn't have lights that were so high up on it because it kind of blocks that building. I wish I could get rid of that top orange line, but it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely not mad at this one, and a long exposure is just always a fun photo to make. So at this point, I just keep walking around. I didn't really see anything else that stood out to me on this night, except for these condos on the left. These are like $1 million condos. Goals right there. One day, your boy will have something like that. But for now, I just kept walking around looking for something interesting. I did happen to see this on my way back to the car. It was these people walking into, I think it's like a theater, walking into this theater. We had this crazy fluorescent red light, and I made this image right here. I think it looks really good, nice silhouette on it. It's interesting, it's mysterious, and this is one of my favorites of the day. So my two favorite photos were this one and that one of the scaffolding with the person walking through it. This was a good reminder to me that even on days where it feels like everything's going wrong, you feel like you brought the wrong lens with you, you're not feeling super creative, if you stay out, if you don't give up, you can come up with a photo that you like, or in my case, 2 photos that you like. Sometimes you just got to ignore that feeling like, oh, I just want to give up, this sucks, and just push through and make it happen. And it might take a little bit more time. We were out for a long time on this day, about an hour and 45 minutes, but I left feeling happy, feeling accomplished for creating something.
Workout completed. Time, 50 minutes, 40 seconds. Distance, 6 miles. Average pace, 8:27 per mile.
Powerful 6-miler complete. Yo, I'm trying out a new lens today. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it is. If you follow me on social media, you probably know what it is. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about it. Now we're on to the first meal of the day. We got Chick-fil-A, chicken, egg, and cheese bagel. We got some yogurt, obviously some water. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It's sunny. Oh, I'm in such a better mood. I'm one of those people who gets like, not seasonal depression, but I definitely get like seasonal downness. I don't feel great, so today was refreshing. I didn't think I had a lot to shoot today, but I did. I'm here at Epitome. Well, I'm taking a quick coffee break from Epitome ATL. I have been grinding. We had so much to shoot today. I'm still not done. So I took that fat L this morning on those off-whites, decided to grab these while I was at Epitome ATL, the Element React 87. Had my eye on these for a while, and they're pretty dope. They're gonna be my new like casual gym, casually lift weights shoe, if that makes sense. Pretty unique and interesting looking. I like all the little details. But yo, I'm about to give y'all a pro tip right now, a big pro tip. This is one of my secrets to getting the perfect photo set. So if you're working with clients, you want to encourage them to post a set of images rather than one image. I don't know why, don't know what it is, but it helps the engagement for whatever reason, makes you look like you're doing your job better, and you're more likely to get rehired. So here's the logic I use every single time I make a photo set to speed up the process so I can move from one thing to another and just get more done in a day. We're gonna use these new shoes I got as our example. So for the sake of today's example, I'm going to keep this super simple. If you're going to take this advice, it mostly applies to things like product photography or any type of photo set centered around a subject. So in this case, shoes, it could be jewelry, it could be clothing, it could be a person, it can be a house, whatever the case may be. This is the logic I use when I have a subject to make a set of photos about. The first photo is going to be our basic photo. So in the case of shoes, it's going to be our basic product photo, which in today's simple example will be something like this, just a basic flat lay. This is what we can use for any product shots we need. My second 2 or 3 photos will be detail shots. So one detail could be these bubbles right here, these swoosh, and then maybe the see-through element on the shoe. Pick a couple details, 2 or 3. So at that point, you could already have 4 photos. Now, the bonus photo, let's say you do that one basic product shot, those 2 detail photos, and you want one more to get 4. I call this the interactive photo. So this can be your subject if it's a person interacting with the environment around them to tell more of the story, or in this case with shoes, it could be something like me grabbing one of the shoes out of the box to tell a little bit more of a story, set the scene a little bit better. Or it could be someone wearing the shoes or someone holding the shoes next to their outfit, something to just tell a little more of the story around the subject. You can be creative with this one. I don't include it with every single photo set I make, but it is something I keep in mind when the opportunity presents itself. So I basically just pick any variety of those things I just talked about. Sometimes it's one product shot with 2 details, sometimes one product shot with 3 details, sometimes one product shot, 2 detail shots, and then one other storytelling type shot. Now I realize that might have annoyed some of you because I took something that can be pretty complicated and made it very simple, but that's literally the logic I use for 80% of the photo sets I make. If you wanted me to do a sneaker photography video, I'm finally gonna make one soon, so if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned for that. As for right now though, This break has got to be over. It's already been way too long. I got photo work to finish. So the original plan after I filmed that driving clip last night was to go out and shoot, and I'm kind of glad the location I went to didn't, well, it's gonna work out in the future, but I found out I have to take an Uber to get there, so we'll do it in another video, but I'm kind of glad it didn't work out because this vlog is 15 minutes long. These vlogs are like progressively getting longer and longer. I hope you're not mad about that. The lens that I was testing out for today's video is the Fujifilm 8-16mm 2.8. This lens is a little ridiculous. I have it for a little while longer. Eventually I'm gonna make a review on it. It's been a while since I made a vlog using the Fujifilm X-H1, so if there was anything weird going on in the video, that is why I had a few minor white balance exposure issues that happened during this one. That is it for me today. I'm gonna get out of here. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for coming out to shoot with me. Do me a solid, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. Oh, yo, there is a UFC this weekend. Real quick predictions. Stylebender, even though he still drives me nuts, I can't stand the guy, but he's gonna win. And Gastelum, I think Whitaker has taken way too much damage in those Yoel fights. If you are a UFC fan, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like I said, y'all are the truth. Stay tuned for that sneaker photography video as well as the video review I make of this beast of a Fujifilm lens. Thank y'all. See you next time.